Hello YouTube, this is Keith Kevin Kent. How you doing? This is my video. It is going to look at all of my 2016 Spyderco purchases. Now it's Monday, November 21st, 2016. There are a number of Spydercos that have been announced but haven't come out yet. So this is up to this point. Since Spyderco just announced their 2017 catalog, I wanted to do this video of my roundup of the Spyderco 40th anniversary year. I told you guys early on that it was going to be an epic year. I also told you that I was dedicated to buying all of the folding knives that came out new for 2016, and now I'm going to show you all of those knives in just a few moments. Now listen, I am going to also record in the next couple of days or so, I will record a preview of the 2017 catalog. I don't have the hard copy, but I do have it on my computer. Man, there are going to be some great knives coming out. A new Chaparral, yeah. Two new knives to the economy series, which I'm excited about. Just a bunch of knives coming your way. But I wanted to do 2016, wrap that up, and then we'll talk about 2017 in a later video. Oh yeah, oh yeah, this is Spyderco-Palooza, baby. This is a big thank you for reaching 1,000 subscribers. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers now. But let's get on with all of the purchases of Spydercos. Listen, yes, it's crazy. Yes, I spent a lot of money on these knives. I'm a crazy collector. I just wanted to see if I could do it, and it's still going on. So this is Spyderco-Palooza. We have a whole bunch of other Spyderco-Palooza videos as I go through my Spyderco collection. Hundreds of Spydercos, some very classics to the very newest. You're about ready to see the newest Spyderco releases in just a few moments. So let's go on and do this. I've screwed up the order by messing with these knives, but that's okay. We'll be able to deal with it. So one thing that Spyderco did this season that I love is they introduced the HAP 40 series of knives. HAP 40 is a wonderful steel, very hard, retains an edge. Of course, with the HAP 40, they sandwiched it in between the SUS 410. So it's a sandwich. And let's see, can we get... Okay, this is the Ladybug in HAP 40. The Man Bug. This desk is going to get very crowded. The Man Bug in S40. The Dragonfly in HAP 40. I'm sorry, you guys. It's HAP 40. I said S40. HAP 40. It's sandwiched in between SUS 410 steel. Here is the Delica, which is HAP 40. Now we'll be able to see it. See that line? Below the line is HAP 40. Above it, on both sides, is the sandwich of the SUS 410. The SUS 410 just makes it even that much stronger, and it also helps for rust resistance. That's the Delica. Now, of course, I'm going through a lot of knives, so a lot of them, these are not reviews, but I'll tell you, I do, if you just come here for this, I actually do a pocket dump deconstruction every single day. It includes at least 4 knives, okay? And I have a playlist of all of those. I also have a playlist of knives that I introduce separately, and I have a playlist of these Spyderco knives. This, of course, is the Spyderco Stretch in HAP 40. And the big daddy in HAP 40 is the Endura. This go around with HAP 40, Spyderco, all of these are sprint run knives. Sprint runs for Spyderco are knives that usually are around only 1,000 made. They're limited edition. Once they're sold, they're gone. They are gone. They usually are special editions of production knives. But again, this is the Endura. This is the 6-knife collection that was released this year of the HAP 40 SUS 410 knives. HAP 40 burnt orange knives. I can tell you right now that Spyderco in 2017 is going to continue introducing HAP 40 blade knives, additional knives, and they won't be burnt orange. So they're continuing to use that steel, and I'm excited about that. In production knives, folks, so I'm really excited about that. Yeah, this year was all about Spyderco's 40th anniversary, and they made a lot of knives, released a lot of wonderful knives that you'll see coming up. This right here is a special Spyderco 40th anniversary native. They went to Damna Steel. They have their Thor pattern of Damascus on this wonderful blade. I love when I tilt it, the 40th anniversary goes. It says 40th anniversary. Just a wonderful sprint run again, limited edition. So they're not in production. Limited edition knife for their 40th anniversary. It's pure carbon fiber. Yeah, folks, nothing else. It's not on top of G10. And it has that 3D contouring. Oh man, the carbon fiber is great. The thing about this carbon fiber, it doesn't have any liners, but they did put in some steel inserts inside of the carbon fiber just in case to make it stronger. This is the special 40th anniversary native. It's a sprint run, folks, limited edition. They were actually thinking about doing another knife that was not as contoured as that and didn't have the Damascus blade that they would make as a production knife so that everyone could get it, not the limited edition. I think that producing this knife caused so much problems that they dropped the idea of doing a flatter carbon fiber on top of G10 version of the anniversary knife. So you won't see that. The only way to get this knife is to get that special Damascus blade off of the sprint run. I'll tell you, for me, this year was about all the new knives that were presented, but man, they really added to my collection of ongoing knives. This is the Spyderco Military. This is a sprint run from Spyderco for the military, and it's carbon fiber. It feels just wonderful in the hand. Smooth as silk. The reason it's a sprint run, again, a limited edition, around 1,000 plus or minus 1,000 knives, is because of the blade. This blade is the military 52-100 steel. 52-100 steel. Oh man. It will rust on you. If you get the 52-100 steel, it's highly carbon, a lot of carbon. It will rust on you, so you need to take care of it. But again, it takes a great edge. It's strong. It's easy to sharpen as well. Oh man, this is a sprint run that came out this year. I told you, an epic season. Now, when I say an epic season, I went into 2016 with one paramilitary. It was camo. It had a black blade. It was S30V steel. Well, guess what? Oh, I'm coming out of 2016 with a whole bunch of paramilitaries. And it started with this orange cutlery shop exclusive. Not only, I just think this is beautiful. I do. I love this orange with the black. I just do. Of course, with the compression lock, you'll see a lot of compression locks in this 2016 cache from Spyderco. You'll also see it in 2017 a lot. I'll do the preview of that coming up soon. But man, what a beautiful knife from Cutlery Shop exclusive. The blade still CTS XHP, and that's really the name of the game with all of these new Spydercos coming out this season. This was the Blade HQ exclusive that sold out in an hour or two. Blade HQ was great. They said we have limited edition. We're going to have it with the natural G10, see-through G10. You see that? Just beautiful. You can see the workings there. Look at the liner, the skeletonized liner. There you have it. Obviously, it's a paramilitary 2, so it has the compression lock. Not only does it have the natural G10, but it also had CPM M4 steel. Now, Spyderco, working with Gail Bradley, introduced the M4 on the Gail Bradley and also on the Gail Bradley Air. But this year, they introduced a lot of knives with M4. Again, a lot of carbon in M4. The thing you have to take care of it because it will rust on you. But Spyderco introduced a whole bunch of knives with CPM M4, and you'll see that as we continue. Yeah, you got it. More paramilitaries. You know what? I love paramilitaries. They're still releasing new paramilitaries. Here's the greatest last year or this current year, 2016, the biggest anticipated knife for me was the Sage 5 because they finally put the compression lock on a Sage and they celebrated themselves, Spyderco, and the creation of the compression lock. Next year, they have a paramilitary 3. And guess what? It's a smaller size paramilitary 3 at 3 inches. Guess what the Sage 5 is with the compression lock? 3-inch blade. So I can't wait to get the new Para 3. That's what they're calling it. Para 3. The new paramilitary in my hands and compare it to the Sage 5. But this right here is just beautiful. Come on. It's beautiful. This is the KnifeWorks exclusive carbon fiber with M4 steel. So KnifeWorks came out with their own exclusive paramilitary. And then the last one that I bought just a couple of weeks ago is a sprint run. Again, 1,000 knives or less, limited edition sprint run. It has a gray G10 scales. And what makes this a sprint run is its crew wear. They have the crew wear steel on the blade. So, paramilitary 2s, a lot of them. You can anticipate a Para 3. They'll continue to do paramilitary 2s, but a Para 3 in 2017, a 3-inch paramilitary. People have been asking for a smaller paramilitary. I have to tell you, I've been calling the new Sage 5, which you'll see in a few minutes, the new paramilitary. Spyderco, as they always do, next season in 2017, they're upgrading. They're bringing a new version of some very old knives. That's why I'm so excited to do a preview because I have a lot of the old classics that they're going to update. Well, this year, they introduced the Little Lum. Bob Lum, the late knife maker. Spyderco had released a large folder Lum and a medium folder Lum. And I have the medium folder Lum that's about this big. And I have it in Precision, blue Precision. They came out with the Little Lum. Just a real small 2.4-inch blade Lum. Nice, inexpensive black G10, VG10 steel. All of the Lums have VG10 steel. And spoiler, they have a sprint run of this in blue Precision coming in 2017, the Little Lum. The Little Lum is a little bit different than the bigger Lum. Spyderco has a bigger belly on this. This is a real nice little EDC knife to throw in your pocket. Of course you could clip it, but also in your purse. Just a real nice EDC. It's the Little Lum from Spyderco. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the little knives because I like the little knives. And one favorite that came out this year from Spyderco for me is the Varango. The Spyderco Varango. What a wonderful knife. It really is. 2.5-inch blade. I love just the production of this knife. It's just unfreaking believable. S30V steel with the recurve. I love the Tanto style blade. Oh, I love how it goes in. And look at the production. So it's titanium with a carbon fiber laminate insert. And then they have it blue, the titanium blue. The edges, they have like a grayish. You have the back spacer that's so flush on this knife. It's unfreaking believable. It feels like just one piece. Comes down with the blue, and then on the other side's gray. They just spent a lot of time on this little knife. I love this production. I really do. It's the Varango. Again, another one of the small Spydercos coming out this year. You know, I have a video called The Patata. I'm in love with the Patata. I have a huge thing for the Spyderco ethnic knives. Those ethnic knives where they take century-old knives out of all kinds of communities, and does a wonderful knife for remaking the knife. This was a Mediterranean knife, and they did a great job with this. This is the Patata. It's nice, it's thin. Oh man, smooth as silk, with a wonderful liner lock, easy to get to. I'll tell you, yes, EDC because of that belly, but that point though, okay. You know, a lot of the ethnic series knives, because they come from different places and they are century-old knives, traditional knives that are then turned by Spyderco into these wonderful knives with today's technologies. You know, they had to use them for everything, as a tactical knife, as an EDC knife, so they're really nice. This is one of the smoothest black G10 handles that I have ever had in my hand. It feels so great in the hand. And they even put my wire clip on the Patata, which I like. 3.9-inch blade, N690 steel, and just a wonderful knife. See-through construction. I'll tell you, it feels so great in the hand. It's so smooth. It's so thin. Oh, it's so well built. This is the Patata, folks, part of the Ethnic series. If you haven't gone to the Ethnic series, I'm going to do the Ethnic series as part of course, Spyderco-Palooza. So that's coming up, and you'll see all the knives that they've made and those wonderful shapes that are just unfreaking believable. Plain and simple, unfreaking believable. Spyderco did something really interesting in 2016 when they introduced the Wolf Spider. Again, they weren't shy in using the compression lock. And one reason you use the compression lock is because of this shape. You know, you can't really put a back lock in it with this shape. You can't really do the liner lock. G10 made it light, green G10. And the reason they wanted it light is that this really was a Spyderco bushcraft knife, folding knife. Obviously, a bushcraft knife is a big, fixed knife, usually with a blade, with that Scandinavian blade, which this is. And usually, it isn't S30V steel like this is. It's usually a high carbon steel because, you know, you want something that's easy to sharpen, that you can get a great edge on. But as a secondary knife in the bush, Spyderco teamed up with Ray Mears out of the UK, a bushcraft specialist, to build this wonderful wolf spider. Now, this is an EDC knife. If they're building a knife that's light, that feels great in the hand, that you could carry and do a lot of good work, thick blade stock that you need, just a wonderful knife. The weird, not weird and man, this is weird, just a strange kind of collaboration. Spyderco marketed this like crazy. A big full page ad in their catalog. They talked about it all the time. When Eric went to Blade Show and everything else, SHOT Show, he talked about it. But you could only buy it off of the Ray Mears website. So you had to pay the shipping coming from the UK. Of course, now these are available here online. You'll see them, but it was hard to find early on when I got this one. It even comes in a Ray Mears Spyderco box, not the usual red Spyderco box. This is the Wolf Spider. I really like this for 2016. What a nice knife. Hey, I'm an urban guy, but I love the whole idea of bushcraft, and I love the bushcraft knives. They are just wonderful. It's just under 3 inches, 2.98, so it'll be legal in a lot of places that only allow a blade under 3 inches. This is one of the more recent Spyderco knives. It's called the Introvert Flipper. Well, yeah, I just flipped it open. But as you can see, it has a back lock, very strong back lock. It goes through like this. You can flip it open. It has that hole in it for your index finger so that it's hard for someone to take it from you or for you to lose it. I love that angle that it comes in. It just rests wonderful in your hand. A lot of people said, that is the ugliest knife I've ever seen. Yeah, okay. I admit. But what a nice knife. Not only can it flip, it opens with the regular Spidey hole as well. So this is a unique knife. I've carried it. I like it. I really do. It's the Introvert. Back lock. Very strong back lock. You can flip it open. You can also use the Spidey hole. That's one of the new unique knives from Spyderco this year. Oh my goodness, the Spyderco Myrtle. You know, Spyderco with their production facilities, I'll tell you, I really love the production of this knife. Just wonderful. Oh man, the titanium bolsters going into that wonderful G10. Just a wonderful knife. I love the recurve at the top. This was almost, it looks like it's almost one of the Spyderco leaf blades, right? And then they did a real nice job. S30V steel, 3.7-inch knife. It's a nice big knife. It looks like a gentleman's folder, but it's a biggie. Wonderful. S30V steel. That's the Spyderco Myrtle. Yeah, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to pick it up. Spyderco worked with Ty On his Thai stick, man, this is a beast of a knife. This is a big knife. I took this down to my mailroom. I take a big knife down to the mailroom every Saturday or Sunday, and we sit down. They chop open boxes. They love all the special knives. They loved this knife. The big Thai stick, taken after the custom knives. S30V steel, 3.9-inch blade. Oh, one of my bigger blades. Has the Chris Reeve integral frame lock. Oh man, Brian Thai, of course, has all his Thai sticks. I've seen a lot of his customs. I've almost pulled the trigger on it. I just couldn't do it, but I'm happy to have that Thai stick in my collection. And one of the most anticipated knives of the year, I'll tell you, I was anticipating the Sage 5, but most people were anticipating the Nirvana. This is just one slab of titanium. It's an integral knife. Just one slab, all machined. And remember, this is a production knife. It's taken after the custom knife, but I'll tell you, what a wonderful knife. Now, I've had problems with it, and I wasn't the only one. It came with stick that made me want to cry. I tell you, I was so upset. This was the most expensive Spyderco that I purchased this year. I got an early one. I wanted to show it off. I have a special video of first impressions of it. I was so excited. A couple of things put me off. And now, of course, you don't hear stick. It's as smooth as silk. But, man, it was that hard stick for me that I could almost not close it. You know, I had to get something to pry the lock back. The other problem I had with it, and remember, I have about 200, 300 Spydercos. So when I say I have a problem, this is a guy who's a big fan, but opening it was a problem. Now, look, I know other knives are like this. I haven't experienced it on a Spyderco, but I have to remember to put my fingers back on the clip and off of the lock bar, and then it opens. I had a hell of a time trying to open it because I was just opening it like I always open a Spyderco. But no, you need to get the pressure off of the lock bar or you can't open it. But now it's smooth as silk and I like it. But what a frustration. For a knife that was more expensive than a Chris Reeve knife, I was a little upset with that. But that was one of the more highly anticipated. Now, I like it. I carried it. It's nice. It's the Spyderco Nirvana 3.7-inch blade. I'm not a big coated blade guy unless it's a blacked out knife. This does have a gray coating on it. S30V steel, 3.7-inch blade. Just a beautiful knife though, isn't it? Just beautiful. I don't know how many of these Spyderco made. I have a feeling that they didn't make that much of them, that many of them, but they are available. I've seen them on the secondary market. I think you can still buy a new one too. And then the flipper that just got me super excited. The Mamba. Hello, it's the Mamba. Huge flipper. Again, don't like coated blades. Eric says that, you know, the Pirella blades are usually real shiny, but on an S30, he couldn't show the grinds the way he wanted to, so he put DLC on the blades. I don't like it. But everything else about this knife is butter. It's so smooth. I'm not a big knife guy, but let me tell you something. I love this big knife. Carbon fiber, tie liners. Has a G10 back spacer. This Mamba is a beauty. Flips like a dream. S30V steel, 3.8-inch blade. That's the Mamba, baby. And let me tell you, this year Spyderco released a whole lot of knives. They just released this. It's the Magnitude by Peter Carey. We're still waiting for the stripped down version of some of Peter Carey's knives, but man, this Magnitude is a beast. I really love this knife. I mean, I just got it a couple of weeks ago. Can you see how smooth this thing is? Come on. S30V steel, 3.5-inch blade. It has that Peter Carey pivot. In this case, with a brown G10 around it. It has that brown G10 backspace with some flare, but a little muted than in the past. That special clip, a one-of-a-kind production clip from Spyderco that gives it that wonderful custom feel and look. Oh, I'm a big fan of this knife. It's the Magnitude. Spyderco also came out with a little special something from the Domino. It's red weave Domino, 3.1-inch blade, CTS XHP. So I had to pick up another Domino flipper, especially with the new weave. These knives are actually what kicked off the season for me. It was late December, so I'm going to include it in here. It was late December, after Christmas, before New Year's of 2015, where I picked up this. This is, of course, the brand new flipper from Spyderco, the Positron. And I just loved it. Nice, small, carbon fiber on top of G10. So light, so wonderful, flips like a dream. The steel on it is S30V steel. This ended the year with this flipper. Later in the year, just one that got a little bit better. Another Positron came out with orange G10. Oh, smooth G10. No one does smooth G10 better than Spyderco. Instead of S30V, S35VN steel, and it's orange. That's the difference, a different variation. I love the clip on both of these. So this was this year. This was right at the end of last year for the flippers. And what Spyderco did, you knew it was going to be an epic year when they released 2 flippers as their first knives of 2016. They did that. I didn't do it. They did it. The Mantra 1, just the plain Mantra, and the Mantra 2. I started saying once I got the Mantra, this right here, is that it was just pure, a flipping Delica. And you know what Eric said? It's a flipping Delica. Exact same shape as the Delica. The difference is they introduced this year with CPM M4 knives. 2 of them. The Mantra and the Mantra 2 came out at the same time. This is the Delica with that Spyderco leaf shape. Of course, it is a flipper. It has the Chris Reeve integral frame lock. It has my wonderful wire clip. Spyderco's using that a lot now, and I love it. Flips like a dream. They include stainless steel inserts so that it won't wear down as much. First knives of 2016 that kicked off this epic year. The difference between the Mantra and the Mantra 2 is the blade profile. This profile, I'll tell you, I love my Delicas, so I was really loving the Mantra, but that Mantra 2 in your pocket, shave down that Spidey hole, shave down the top of it, And the profile in your pocket is unbelievable. Again, CPM M4 steel, it flips out like a dream. It has everything that the Mantra has except a different profile. This Spyderco hole is not functional. They need to make it small so that you can get this profile. That one you can open up with the Spidey hole or with the flipper. But these things flip so great. Why would you do that? Huh? Why in the hell would you do that? Another thing Spyderco came out with are the Blurple knives. This is the native. This is the lightweight native dark blue S110V steel. S110V steel. I think one thing you could say about this 40th anniversary of Spyderco is not only have they introduced a lot of different knives, but they introduced some great steel when you talk about HAP 40. And really, it wasn't their first time, but spending a lot of time and introducing a lot of knives with CPM M4. But making S110V steel available on production knives. These are not. I have a S110 steel native, but that was a sprint run. These are not sprint run, the Mannix. The Mannix and the native, you can get them in lightweight FRN scales when they're dark blue, S110V. You can also get those two knives in what the internet calls blurple. And blurple is this G10. It's a bluish purple, a dark bluish purple. Yeah, that's right. Paramilitary 2 S110V steel. A perfect knife just got more perfect with that wonderful super steel. S110V steel. And by the way, like I said, this right here, it's not a sprint run. That's a production knife. It's going to be available for a long time. And if you're going to do the paramilitary, you might as well do the military. Blurple. Blurple military as well. S110V steel. They also updated a couple of other knives early on in this year. Yeah, I'm running out. It's a messy desk here at Keith Kevin Ken, but that's okay. I want to give you guys a preview of my purchases this year. There were a lot of them. When you see them all together, I start worrying about myself. I'll be honest with you. But I'm so happy. This was the epic year. There are some knives that were announced that still haven't come out, but they'll come out either very late around Christmas, after Christmas, or in the next year. They updated the Gale Bradley with the Gale Bradley 2. This was earlier on this year. Looks right here, because I don't have the Gale Bradley in hand, looks like the Gale Bradley, right? Well, actually, the handle's a lot thinner. The CPM M4 blade, just like the original, is thinner, longer, and it's a lighter package. That is the Gale Bradley 2 that was introduced and available this year. Oh my goodness, the Ouroboros. Man, I like this knife. Yeah, it may look ugly, but it feels so great in hand. That choil is just wonderful. I have these big Michelin Man hands, and it is a beast. I love it. I love to carry it. VG10 steel, 2.8-inch blade. Look at that wide blade. It's like a Spyderco leaf blade cut off for the choil. And it's good in the pocket because they cut away a lot of the handle, so it does not take up a lot of room in the pocket. Black G10 scales. It has that wire clip. Ouroboros is the word for a Greek symbol of a snake eating its own tail. And of course, with this odd shaped handle that feels so good. By the way, through the decades, 40 years, Spyderco has made knives that people said, man, those are ugly. Did they design that in a dark room? They may have, because it feels so good in hand. And of course, the compression lock. What other lock could you use with that small of a base? And I love that they use the compression lock. It's just wonderful. Again, Spyderco used a lot of the compression lock this year. What else do we have? 2 more knives, then we're done. Don't forget to thumb up this video. Let me know that you like this kind of thing. I'm working on another video, the preview of the 2017 offerings of Spyderco that's coming our way. This, my friends, is my update on the knives that I bought in 2016 from Spyderco. The Spyderco knives, man, they offered a lot of great knives. My most recent purchase is the Spidey Chef. Love it. The same maker that made the Techno made this Spidey Chef. The concept is so great and it works wonders. This is the shape of a chef's knife that you see in the kitchen. The chef knife, to me, is the EDC of the kitchen. You can use it for anything. It's a big knife. You can do anything, slice, dice, whatever with it. And that's why this is, but also this is part of the Salt series, the Spyderco Salt series. Yeah, it's using LC200N, LC200N steel, which is rust proof. Full titanium with the clip. All of this is weatherized, and this LC200N steel cannot rust. No, perfect for the kitchen. I keep thinking about getting a great van and traveling around the U.S. to all the knife shows and knife shops and all the cigar places. I'm going to have this by my side for food prep. Just wipe it off, won't get rusted. Just a wonderful knife. And EDC for the kitchen. What a wonderful EDC knife. Carried this. Man, I didn't want to take it out of my pocket. That's the Spidey Chef, the most recent of the Spyderco releases. And then I say for the last, and this is the last, my most highly anticipated knife, and that's the Sage 5. I love when Spyderco continues the Sage series. This time they didn't hold back. They know their compression lock is a great lock, and so they're celebrating themselves with the compression lock. Real nice carbon fiber on top of G10. It feels really wonderful. Of course, S30V steel, 3-inch blade, that iconic Spyderco Sage blade, that leaf blade. I can't wait to see. That's not it. I can't wait to see the Para 3, the new version of the paramilitary that's coming out in 2017. It's smaller. It's going to be a 3-inch blade. Hello, with everything else that the military has. So obviously the blade shape will be different than the Sage 3, but I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to own it. I can't wait to have it next to the Sage 3 to talk about what the differences are. There you have it, folks. These are the purchases from 2016. This, my friends, is Spyderco-Palooza, baby. This is a big thank you. It's continuing. More videos to come. Are we halfway? Maybe halfway through the collection. We have fixed blades. We have a whole bunch of other blades. I'm going to do a video preview of the 2017 Spyderco collection, the only way that Keith Kevin King can do it. I'm going to show you the older blades, and then we'll talk about what the changes are for the newer blades. Hey, you guys, thumb this up, hit that subscribe button. We're on our way to 2,000 videos. Not only am I doing these special videos, but every single day I do a pocket dump deconstruction that includes at least 4 knives. At least 4 knives. We talk about cigars. We talk about a whole bunch of things every single day. Check out the playlist. A bunch of videos on there. A bunch of playlists as well, including the Spyderco-Palooza playlist. Check it out, and we'll continue to do this. Hit that little bell next to the subscribe button so you get notified when Keith Kevin Ken puts up some more videos. Hey, you guys, thanks a lot for all your time. I know how precious it is. This is Keith Kevin Ken. I'm Kevin. You have a perfect day. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.